Why do women who once craved intimacy with you become cold, distant, and silent? The answer lies not in age, hormones, or appearance, but in the most invisible yet powerful thing in love: emotional connection. A 92-year-old woman once told me in a medical talk, "A woman only gives fully when she feels appreciated, protected, and loved with all her heart, not just her body." And that is what most men forget as they go through the long years of marriage. In the early stages, men do everything to make their women feel special. A sweet text, an unexpected hug, a passionate look. But over time, familiarity replaces caring, silence replaces listening, and duty gradually obscures feelings. When a woman no longer feels seen, understood, she no longer opens herself up to sharing intimacy. Not because she no longer loves, but because her heart has been hurt in silence. Unfortunately, many men choose to fix with material things: gifts, promises, or even trying to show off their physical prowess. But what she really needs is an emotional touch, a look that makes her feel safe and appreciated. Neuroscience shows that when women feel loved and emotionally connected, the brain activates the amygdala, helping to release oxytocin, the trust hormone. This hormone increases pleasure, relaxation, and expands the ability to bond intimately. On the contrary, when emotions are abandoned, her body automatically defends, closing all desires. The solution is not to do more, but to understand more deeply. Start by listening, looking into your woman's eyes, touching lightly without expectation. Show her that you still appreciate the little things, the way she laughs, the way she cares, the things she worries about. Love doesn't die, it just falls asleep in cold habits. And sometimes just a small, sincere act can rekindle the spark that made you both passionate, like in the beginning. I've talked to hundreds of men in their 50s, 60s, and even 70s. They all share the same concern. "I don't understand. She used to love me so much, and now she's almost cold. What did I do wrong?" The truth is, many men don't do anything wrong, but they've stopped doing what's right. When love first begins, a man makes an effort to make a woman feel special. He listens, pays attention to every detail, and is willing to sacrifice time just to see her smile. But as the relationship becomes stable, comfort gradually replaces passion, and we slowly becomes two parallel people. This is the biggest mistake, believing that love can exist on its own without being nurtured. A woman doesn't leave you because she doesn't love you anymore. She leaves you emotionally because she no longer feels seen, understood, and cared for as before. A hug now becomes hasty. A compliment gradually disappears. Conversations that were once deep now revolve around a few polite words. And so day by day, she closes her heart, becomes silent and cold. I call this loneliness in two people. It is the silent disease of every long-term marriage, when we live together but our souls are miles apart. And then many men choose to make amends with material things, buying flowers, giving gifts, or trying to prove your strength in the bedroom. But all of these things are meaningless if she no longer feels connected from within. The solution is not to try to do more, but to go back to doing the seemingly small but powerful things. Really listen. Don't interrupt. Don't rush to react. Look into her eyes, let her feel that you are still there. Touch her gently without expecting. Let her feel the safety in your arms. When a woman feels understood and appreciated, the natural energy of love and desire will return. Not because you are trying to win her back, but because you have awakened her heart, the place that was once filled with love for you. Sometimes what a man needs is not to find the fire again, but to learn how to keep it burning with presence and love. I often ask my long-married male patients a simple but important question. When was the last time you truly made your wife feel safe, appreciated, and understood? Most of them remain silent, not because they don't love you, but because they've forgotten how to stay emotionally connected. And that lack of connection is the root cause of the gradual loss of desire and physical intimacy. Imagine a woman who has spent her whole life nurturing, caring, and loving you. When she feels neglected, ignored, or her efforts go unnoticed, a quiet sense of disappointment builds. It's not expressed in words, but in her eyes, her smile, and the way she emotionally withdraws. At this point, Physical desire is no longer the main issue. It's a consequence of the internal disconnection. The real power to restore a relationship is not in changing your appearance or improving your bedroom skills. It is in re-establishing a sense of safety and understanding. When a woman feels that you listen without judgment, that you truly value her, and that you see her worth, her body and mind will respond naturally. Desire will return like a long-blocked river reopened. A seemingly small act can be incredibly powerful. A sincere compliment about her smile, her elegance, or even her daily efforts. A gentle touch, not to demand a response, but to convey the message, I am here and I care about you. Listen without judgment, so she feels that you truly want to understand. Not just react or fix, even just a few minutes a day, dedicated to her without distractions like phone calls or work, can make a huge difference. When she feels valued on the inside, physical desire doesn't need to be forced. It comes back naturally and sustainably. This is also an important reminder for yourself. Love and lasting commitment don't just happen. They require constant presence, care, and awareness. When you invest in emotional connection, you not only restore desire, but also rebuild trust, intimacy, and lasting happiness in the relationship. A man's strength isn't measured by his ability to win, but by his ability to keep her feeling loved and safe. And when you do, you'll see. The relationship not only comes back to life, but soars beyond what you ever thought possible. I often see couples who have been married for many years, and when they walk into my office, their eyes carry a silent worry. We've lost connection. It's not always about looks or physical desire, but rather a sense of emotional distance, a silent gap that both partners recognize but don't know how to bridge. The scariest thing is that many men don't realize that this pain is silently destroying the relationship. The woman who once gave her all her love and trust now begins to gently withdraw. She no longer shares her thoughts, no longer desires intimacy, and without action, physical desire follows, disappearing like a dried-up river. The good news is, intimacy can be restored, but it takes consistent and intentional action. I call this everyday love language. 3 simple yet powerful habits that can recreate a deep connection with your partner. Speak from the heart. Words are not just a way of communicating, but an emotional bridge. Instead of general compliments like, you are beautiful, go into detail. For example, your smile lights up the room. When a woman hears that you truly notice and appreciate her from the inside, her heart opens and the connection is rekindled. Touch without purpose. Non-sexual touches like holding hands, stroking hair, and hugging send a powerful message. I appreciate you for more than just your body. This is a way of sending a signal of safety and pure love. When she feels this pure care, desire will naturally return in a sustainable way. Be present. Small daily actions like pouring her coffee in the morning, asking about her day, remembering small details in a conversation, are the emotional bank account that a woman keeps forever. These actions don't take much time, but they create a sense of security, appreciation, and deep connection. These 3 habits are not tricks or gimmicks, but a journey to restore intimacy from the roots. When done consistently, you will see a marked change. Her eyes become warmer, her smiles appear more often, and her emotional and physical closeness returns. The most important thing is patience and sincerity. Intimacy isn't built in a day, but a minute of attention every day repeated can turn the pain of separation into a deep connection. When you cultivate these 3 habits, you will not only restore desire, but also regenerate a strong, emotional, and long-lasting relationship. In my 40-plus years of practice, I have seen countless heartbreaking stories. Men who thought their love was guaranteed after years of living together. But in reality, intimacy and desire are slowly fading. They are confused, not understanding why their woman has become distant, no longer sharing feelings, no longer wanting to be close. And I always remind them, this pain is not her fault, but the emotional distance that has formed over time, sometimes silently, without anyone noticing. Fortunately, there are valuable teachings that can completely change the way we perceive love and intimacy. A 92-year-old woman with deep life experience shared a message that I always repeat to my patients. Attraction does not come from trying harder, but from creating a safe emotional environment for love to flourish. Stop for a second and think about this. How many times in your life have you believed that just giving flowers, saying sweet words, or doing something big will keep your love alive? In reality, superficial efforts, however beautiful, cannot replace the feeling of being safe, heard, and understood in a woman's heart. When she feels ignored, unappreciated, or unappreciated, she will gradually withdraw emotionally. And from there, her physical desire will also decrease, even though she still loves you. The important message here is, lasting attraction comes from emotional connection, not looks or skills. A sincere word, a subtle caring gesture, or simply listening without judgment, all are emotional acts that have the power to restore a lost connection. When a woman feels loved, respected, and understood, her body and mind will naturally open up, and the desire for intimacy will return naturally, without any forced effort. This means that, to restore the relationship, men need to pay attention to their partner's emotional signals, rather than focusing only on external behavior. Small but consistent actions, like asking about her day, sharing her honest feelings, or simply being present and listening, will send a clear message. I care about you, not just your body, but your whole self. The 92-year-old's teachings are a guide to lasting love. Without trying too hard, without using tricks or pressure, just creating a safe environment. Listening and understanding, you will rekindle the love, intimacy, and desire that has been dormant. This is how you turn the pain of emotional separation into an opportunity for a deeper and more fulfilling relationship. One of the deepest pains I see in my clinic is men who feel defeated by their partner's emotional and sexual withdrawal. They wonder, why is she no longer interested? Or, I'm doing everything and it's not enough. In reality, the answer lies not in looks or skills, but in how a woman feels when she's with you. Women don't love because of what a man does, but because of how they feel safe, appreciated, and understood. When men understand that emotions must be nurtured before physical contact, a magical shift occurs. The gap is gradually filled, trust and emotional intimacy are reestablished. Small gestures like listening without judgment, a sincere compliment, or daily presence send the message, I care about you, the whole you, not just your body. The result is intimacy that is natural, lasting, and fulfilling, no longer driven by pressure or forced effort. This is the path to turning the pain of separation into an opportunity to revitalize the relationship, allowing both partners to feel deep connection, love, and natural desire again.